with the invocation by Commissioner Harrelson and the pledge of allegiance by our city manager, Mr. Darrell Watson.
Lord, we thank you for your loving kindness. Thank you for your tender mercy. Bless each and every one that's here on tonight. Bless our city. This we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Adams? Present. Commissioner Harrelson? Here. Commissioner Henderson? Here. Commissioner Henry?
Present.
Commissioner Isom?
Present.
Commissioner Jones? Mayor Porton? Mayor Muhammad?
Present.
Governor President.
Is there a motion for the approval of the regular minutes of June 17, 2019?
Support.
The motion is made by Commissioner Henderson and supported by Commissioner Harrelson. Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Adams?
Yes.
Commissioner Henry?
Yes.
Commissioner Harrelson? Yes. Commissioner Isom?
Yes.
Mayor Muhammad?
Yes.
Motion carried, Your Honor.
Is there a motion for the approval of accounts payable listing?
Support.
Motion made by Commissioner Henderson, supported by Commissioner Harrelson. Discussion. Chair recognizes Commissioner Adams.
Went off the left on this, but there was one item that caught my attention, and I don't remember it coming to the meeting, or maybe I missed it. It happens sometimes. There was a payment for the coming home, coming together, $250. I think it's a good idea that we support small events like that, but there's no way, for as much as the tickets cost, that it could be for this body. And I just find it amazing, because when we ask for something for my brother's keeper, there's nothing there.
Chair recognizes the city manager.
Commissioner Adams, that is a refund on their deposit for the park usage. They did not use the park, so that was just what that was.
Thank you.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Henry.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I'm asking this question again, and I guess I'll have to ask it again and again until I get an answer. I see that there's a lot of parts being purchased, auto parts, and I'm believing that most of our repairs are being done under the contract that we're letting with the enterprise. So I need to see who's purchasing these parts and what vehicles they're being used for. And I'll ask my colleagues to please support me on this, because this is my third request, and I need some support to make sure that we get the information.
Chair recognizes the city manager.
Commissioner Henry, all of the vehicles in the public safety and public works, with the exception of the dump trucks and lawnmowers and things of that nature, ATVs, are not under enterprise. So I can get you a listing of what was purchased. So all of the vehicles in the city are not under the enterprise maintenance agreement. And like I said, what would happen is there would be some purchases that would have to be made outside of that agreement for other vehicles, but we can get a listing of that and get it to you. If there are specifics that you're talking about, a company or something to that effect, if you could let me know or email me and let me know what it is, we can get that for you.
Okay, thank
All right.
you.
Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Henry,
No.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Allen,
Yes.
Commissioner Harrelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Isom,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson. Yes. Mayor Muhammad.
Yes.
Motion carries, Your Honor.
This brings us to citizens' comments or public participation. Please register with the city clerk for those who'd like to participate. There's a 3-minute maximum per speaker, and we'll ask that all cell phone or electronic devices be muted or placed on vibrate to avoid any disruption.
Mr. Jamie Davis.
Y'all hear me? When we talk about it. I'd like to say greetings to the council, and I wanted to publicly thank you all for unanimously voting me in to be a member of the Communications Committee. I do appreciate that. I've been reading my charter, learning a lot about the city, the ordinances and things. And I'd like to present to the committee that I think that maybe on the YouTube page, we should have the charter broke down in sections for the citizens so that people will know what to and not to do. And that way we probably could cut down on some of the disagreements that we may have with our citizens or with people. I would be happy to read some of the charter, like put a video and just have different sections and read it so the citizens can go there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we'd have, I think, a whole lot better city. I think so. I think that when you deal with people and they know what they should and should not do, maybe there'll be a little bit more respect of the officers and things of that nature. So, and again, I want to thank you all for allowing me to be part of that committee, and hopefully you all can think about that. As I run it for mayor, I'll definitely make sure that hopefully the council will be always knowing the charter so we can tell the citizens what to and not to do. So we won't have any problems, you know. Or we can cut down some of the things. Anyway, thank you all, and hope to see you soon.
Ms. Patty Hines.
Hi, it's been a while. I'm concerned, once again, about the people who rent homes in Benton Harbor. Who do I go to for rental inspections? I was with my godchildren's mother at the hospital today, She happens to have Steven Johnson syndrome. Google it. It's a flesh-eating disease that comes from being prescribed medications you're allergic to. But that didn't hold up her landlord from calling her back to back, demanding rent money. I mean, the woman's got children. She's laying in Lakeland Hospital for the second time now. Blisters everywhere. She can't even walk right now. And I wish he was here tonight because it's his home the roof is falling in on. I posted it on Facebook once before, and he did the minimal repair. All I'm asking, I'm not being mean and asking, please provide humane housing for these people. They're human beings. Do not rent something to people that you yourself wouldn't live in, and I know Mr. Seats would not live in this home. It's wrong. It's just wrong. But it goes hand in hand with, it's not just this commission. I've been coming down here a couple decades now. This city is running an agenda designed by Whirlpool against the citizens. But Whirlpool and several other entities during the manufacturing period, they sent letters down south. Come on up, come on up. But now that they've built their fortunes on the backs of a lot of these elderly people who live in this city, beautiful, wonderful people who I care very much for, and I have no vested interest in this, except I love people, especially innocent people who are being taken advantage of. But time and again, this commission, the mayor, the city manager, they are going along with this Whirlpool agenda. It's not right. They asked these people to come here. Now that their purpose has been fulfilled, they want to banish them away. We could have put parking meters in the arts district, but that might offend somebody. Uh-oh. We could have sold the lot that you gave them for $10,000. We could have built a municipal parking garage, and that would have created revenue. And you might try taxing Whirlpool. They got a little bit of money, you know. And these gifts they give you always have strings attached. They tell you how to use it, when to use it, and who to use it on. Money isn't everything, I promise you it's not. I had $50,000, you know what I did with it? I gave every dime away.
Thank you, Ms.
To
Hines.
aid strangers.
Thank you for everyone who participated in the public comment, citizens' comments. This brings us to our consent calendar items. Are there any agenda items that should be separated from the consent calendar? Mr. Manager?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First item on the agenda is approval of agreement with American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees.
Mr. Manager, pardon me, Commissioner Henry, I will honor your
Thank you,
hand.
sir. I'm a little slow tonight. I'd like to separate the adoption of resolution approving the agreement with the American Federal and State and County ASME employees. And I also want to separate the adopt a resolution approving the sale of the city-owned property of 200 Pawpaw. Does that mean that the third item will be discussed, or will we do
That's
it?
on the consent calendar.
Okay, then let's separate that too, please.
Mr. Manager.
Thank you. First item, separated item, is approval of the agreement with the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees. Recommendation is that the Mayor Muhammad Amin City Commission approve the terms with the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees.
Is there a motion to adopt a resolution approving the agreement?
To adopt.
Motion made by Commissioner Adams and is supported by Commissioner Singleton. Discussion.
In committee, oh, I'm sorry, Chair.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Henry.
In committee, we had some discussion about this, and at that meeting, information about the budget was presented at the same time. And I'm afraid that we really should not be extending ourselves out financially until we know exactly where we're going to be. So I'm not in agreement for any increases right now. We've turned down other employees, and we should make sure that everybody understands that it's not that we're depreciating their services, we're just making sure that the city stays solid. So I will not agree to any increases in salaries until we can actually prove that our budget is solid. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Singleton.
Honorable Mayor, through the chair to the manager, is there any analysis on budget as how much this would cost us?
When this was presented, Commissioner Singleton, at that time, there was a $1,700 difference in this year and last year with these particular employees, but you have the list of in front of you. That was the difference in salary difference for 2019 fiscal year and 2020 fiscal year. That number was then plugged into the budget based on what we had talked about. So with that number in there, the budget was presented and passed, and so those salaries were already plugged in.
They go along with when we, I think we discussed it in the committee meeting that we talked about the holiday pay that was get back.
Correct.
Thank you.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Henry.
That's interesting. You put it in the budget, but when we asked for youth employment for the summer, it wasn't put in the budget. That's very interesting. That this was already decided, put in the budget. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Adams.
I guess that would be my question. If we've already put together a budget, and this right here is before us for, that will cause us to incur a cost, did the city manager, through the chair, foresee and add these within the budget?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you just knew that we were going to okay this? I mean, but that's just like money in the bank, I'm assuming.
If it's not, if it's not approved, then the budget will reflect at the end of the fiscal year
Okay.
a difference of what was put in there for these employees.
Honorable Mayor, I would like to hear from the committee that just came through and their suggestions of what they.
Chair recognizes the chairman of the Personnel and Finance, Commissioner Ice.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. Well, this came through Personnel and Finance. It's a 2% wage increase, total $17,000. Reinstating holidays.
Point order, is that, what was the amount?
1,700.
1,700, I mean, I'm sorry, 1,700. And I think it's 9 employees. You have 9 employees that will be affected with the 2% wage increase. And we vetted it out as Personnel and Finance Committee. And he said we send it to the full body.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Commissioner Jones.
I'm looking at 8. It's tonight. It's 8, I'm sorry. Excuse me, sir.
So we on consensus rate,
well, so is it 8 or 9? Let's make this clear.
You retracted it.
No. Two people spoke. I wanna know what's the true number. I'm looking at the list, I'm looking at 8. So how many do we have?
It's 8. 8.
Yeah, I can see that's 8, but they both saying 9, so it's 8, right? Is it that right? It's 8. Okay. We good, right? 8.
That's my understanding of it, Mr. Jones. Are you finished?
Are you ready?
You have the floor, sir.
Point down there. Make sure you get his hand.
Why
Let's
won't
not do this. Let's not do this.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Singleton.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. This also, the Commission should also be aware that, just $1,700 of cost. This is a contract negotiation, and I think $1,700 is pretty much a small number to, because if you don't approve it, you go back to negotiations, that's more attorney costs and everything. So $1,700 for a fiscal year, probably a small drop in the bucket if you continue to negotiate, pay the attorneys, money.
Chair recognizes Mayor Pro Tem Seats.
I do concur with Commissioner Singleton that I think we probably paid the attorney more than we're gonna end up paying them in this situation. And then we probably look at the legal fees, we already done tipped that scale. But my question becomes then, through the chair, it would be kind of easy if you seen trucks moving all the time, because next to the name, it has what they're supposed to be doing. And I haven't seen none of these trucks moving in a long time. And maybe it's bonus, but I just don't want nobody out there, I don't want to say kicking the can down the road, but they pulling the can as well as they like get all you can all you get, then sit on the can. That's what's been happening. I mean, we're giving away a lot of money. But I wanted some kind of work incentive-based thing too, that they can prove that they're working. Because what I'm hearing now is that we got more spades games and all kind of stuff happening, and you can't reward bad behavior either. So we have to somehow come up with an incentive-based program. I mean, because every commissioner here knows that we've had issues in the past, so I do appreciate this, and I don't mind voting for it, because if we keep kicking the can down the road, then you're gonna pay the attorney more, and attorney fees, and you gotta look at it again, and then for the emails, and might as well just get it off the desk, but somehow, some way, we got to do some kind of enforcement to show that it's working what we're paying. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Adams.
Thank you. My colleague just raised something that brought this to mind. If in fact these small raises go towards the person or the position, and do we need to do something, and maybe a committee oversees it or checks into a daily log or something, because I get tired of the complaints and I get tired of what I actually see, which is nothing. More nothing than something. Which is why the community looks like it does. And people, the community, they point their finger at something that they think is wrong. When it's overall, when everybody needs to be doing what they're paid to do. Is it the position or is it the person? I mean, because if any of these people become unemployed, does that raise stay with that position? Or is it with that person?
Chair recognizes the city manager.
Commissioner, this is as a contract, all the employees would benefit from the raise. So whatever the raise would be attached to the positions that are there. The difference is that you have different levels of seniority within each position, which garner different rates of pay.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Jones?
No.
Commissioner Harrelson?
No.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Isa?
Yes.
Commissioner Henry?
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats?
No.
Commissioner Adams?
No.
Commissioner Singleton?
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed?
Yes.
Motion fails.
Next item is sell of city-owned property to the Paw. Recommendation of Mayor Mohammed and the Benton City Commission approves the intent to sell 200 Paw to Justice Brown.
Is there a motion for the approval?
Motion to approve.
Motion is made by Commissioner Adams, supported by Commissioner Isa. Discussion. Chair recognizes Commissioner Henry.
Is there, thank you, Mayor, is there anything in writing for this project? I'm sorry, I've not been able to get to my computer till now, but I need to know if it was nothing in committee, and there was a lot of conversation, it was great conversation, and I'd like to know if there's anything in writing concerning this property.
Mr. Manager.
Commissioner, the resolution reads that there is the intent to sell this property to Justice Grown. That is what we're asking for tonight. The specifics of it, purchase agreements, price, all that has not been done. First thing that we have to do is the commission has to say that they have the intent to sell the property as a city-owned piece of property. So that is what's being asked for today. Following that, you will have negotiations if that's approved, and then the process will then come back to the commission for final approval of the purchase agreement in accordance with section 2-104, which is attached. It has to be done, the terms of the sale have to be approved by 2/3 members of the commission that are serving. So this is only for the intent to sell and to go into negotiations. It is not the final document, if you will.
Thank you, sir.
Chair recognizes Mayor Pro Tem Seals.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. Did come to my committee. As everybody knows that I have not been an advocate of the whatever you want to call it, whatever word you want to call it, because it's a new word that y'all using on it. But the thing that interests me more than anything about this entity is that they was representing disenfranchised black men and black males and black females who've been arrested wrongfully, and also social injustice that a lot of their proceeds go to. Again, my statement has always been, I just don't want Ben Harbor to be the smokers, you know, because we already been doing that. But if some of the money can be used for disenfranchised or whatever, and then there was a statement of the agreement that I believe the city manager had, which the building was the name after my cousin Carl Brown, who was my biological cousin. It wasn't no, you know, we wasn't all just born in the flats. And it's sentimental that they do keep the name for a certain amount of time or keep whatever. They also agreed that they will use it for, let a polling location be there for years to come, as long as we need, until we can find another polling location. But the thing that I am more happy about, that heard about the sheriff that was planting drugs on kids in Chicago, and I guess 57 of them got acquitted and also got money. You know, so I mean that says something about a company that's willing to, because you know, I mean, Berrien County and Benton Harbor haven't had the best legal relationship as far as prosecution or prostitution or whatever you want to call it. So I think we do need some extra eyes in the city, and I would welcome the sale of the property. And also, seeing the property, me and Mr. Watson, a few of us went by there. The property's in bad shape. I mean, the roof's leaking, kids busting out the windows or whatever. The front windows busted out, the doors. So we have to do something with the property. If not, we have another army on our hands. Thank you, Honorable Mayor. And they want to spend more than $1. They don't want pilot, they don't want tax breaks. They want to do it the right way. Thank you.
Call for the question.
This is on the actual item. Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Isom?
Yes.
Commissioner Harrelson?
Yes.
Commissioner Henry?
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton?
Yes.
Commissioner Adams?
And yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats?
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next item is approval of the road asset management plan. Recommendation is that Mayor Mohammed and the Benton Harbor City Commission approve the road asset management plan with the proposed recommended modifications for the city of Benton Harbor.
So move.
Motion is made by Commissioner Singleton and is supported by Commissioner Isom.
Commissioner Adams.
Pardon me, Commissioner Adams. Discussion. Chair recognizes Commissioner Adams.
Thank you. I just have one request, and that's that the wording and the percentage is put in its sequence of the percentage following local and the other percentage following major.
It's in there.
I know it's in there, but let the percentage be with the word. There's a forward slash between the percentages and then in between major and local and major. Why can't 80% just follow local and 20% follow major?
Because the slash is respectively. So 80% / 20% local streets / major streets.
I just said, why can't the 80%, why can't it just say local 80%, major 20%? That's real simple. People play with words and stuff, and we don't want them fighting down here 10 years from now over percentage and words and a forward slash. How about that?
It's just standard English.
Well, everybody doesn't understand standard English. That would be, that, to me, that's standard English. Doesn't have to be a big whoop-de-doo, just small minor change, period. Hashtag period.
That is a great idea.
Is there any other comment?
That we would,
Mayor Pro Tem Seats.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. I think it's an excellent idea that we're doing some of the inner city streets. Beforehand, I do commend whoever came up with the program, because at first it started off as being more major than local, and nobody has suffered the blunt end of these potholes more than our inner city residents. And I would pray that after this, we come up, I know the resolution is we need to change, I guess, one is wording changing, but we need a time span on when, how quick and how fast we're gonna hit this, because, I mean, we've been promising potholes gonna be fixed in June and May, and still yet, as Renato Triplett stated, some of these are no longer potholes, they're baby graves, you know, and I lost the rim and the tire.
Come on now.
Just recently, again. I lost, that's the second time, the second rim I've lost in a pothole. And, I got the receipt in case Mr. Duncan will reimburse me. So, I concur with my constituents that we can, move forward with this, but can we hurry up and start letting the inner city residents see us working on these emergency potholes and skim coats and getting it done fast to the best of our ability. Thank you for your leadership in this, City Manager Watson and Commission, and also Mayor. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Henry.
Thank you, Chair. I'd just like to know, why is the amount of 1 million, the initial 1 million will be spent? It doesn't say about the other monies that are in the pot. Can you explain that to me?
Chair recognizes City Manager.
Commissioner Henry, after all of the administration, all of the refunds, all the collection efforts, all the other money that's needed and necessary for the administration of the income tax, this is what we can solidify and say that we know we can spend without having to dip into the other resources. So that's why that number is there as $1 million, because that we do know that we can do without having to compromise in the other aspects of the administration of the income tax.
So you're saying 1.3 million is what we collected?
There was, in withholdings, yes, there was about $1.4 million total.
Okay, thank you.
Chair recognizes 4th Ward Commissioner Harrelson.
I'm just on the last one, remaining 20% of revenue will be split between alleys and maintenance repair. What would 20% do for alleys?
Chair recognizes City Manager.
Commissioner Harrelson, that is language directly out of the resolution that the commission passed when they implemented the income tax. It was that the remaining monies, that there would be money spent on alleys, sidewalks, and streets. The Income Tax Oversight Committee then made a recommendation that 80% of that million would be for the streets, and the other 20% would be for the alleys and emergencies as deemed by the commission.
Would that be enough?
In all honesty, the entirety of the money is not enough for what has to be done, but this is the start that we need to get started so that we can make, as Commissioner Seed said, show that we are doing something with the monies that are being taken and garnered for income tax for the city of Benton Harbor.
I agree with Commissioner Seeks on that.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say, yeah, this project is long overdue to get started. I had the privilege of being in the meeting when we talked about, before we changed this proposal, and it was brought up by the committee that was there in terms of doing this 80-20 split. And so I think the bids will go out, I think in the next month or so, in July or August, and then the work is supposedly supposed to start in September or August, which is, so what is the proposed dates at this point?
Mr.
That was
Manager.
the last conversation.
Commissioner Henderson, based on the last proposal, that was the 50-50 split, doing that, you're absolutely right, that was the timeline. If this is passed by the commission, the RFP for services will go out tomorrow, and it will start immediately. So it will begin before the end of July. And we can get this can be accomplished before the fall of this year.
Thank you.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Adams.
Thank you, Mayor. I more than anybody know that something needs to start happening like yesterday. But we can't move too fast to the point to where we're just, a flush of a stool happens instantly to just flush our money down the stool. I think that we need to be good stewards of the taxpayers' dollars and think outside of the box as to having conversations with somebody like Consumers Concrete and the place up the road from them out there on your road that I think holds and regrinds concrete to the point, because if some of this concrete has to come up, concrete is more expensive than asphalt. And I would rather have a concrete road poured than asphalt because it doesn't last long. Concrete is longer lasting, and some of our beautiful bricks that have been covered up to preserve for somebody's future endeavors are still beautiful. And we need to be making decisions for them not to leave this community if they come up. Because we can use them ourselves in some other places. If we could just think about how to at least put aside a piece of land for this concrete to sit on until we can possibly afford to purchase our own equipment to recycle this concrete. They do it along the highways all the time. And it might sound crazy to some folks, but it's a real thing. The machines that do that are real things.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Commissioner Singleton.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. I think what the Commissioner is alluding to is more of a long-term fix. The intent of this resolution, I believe, was to get something done, immediately to make the roads safe. That's what we've been getting from our citizens. Some of us have experienced it ourselves, with the dangers of the road. And the intent of this resolution was to get all the roads made safe first, then go back and do the things that we're going to do later about making more permanent fix. Also, it was discussed that when you get bidded out, the reason to be bidded out is that you're getting professionals to do the work, and it also frees up public works to deal with the storm drains and gutters to keep the water from piling up on the road. That would help the streets last a little longer. So this definitely is not the permanent fix, but it would give some relief to the citizens and make the roads safe.
Thank you, Commissioner Singleton. I'd just like to say how excited as well as delighted that I am. I remember a conversation in 2012 with Tony Saunders, 2013, and he said that he would not oppose the city income tax going on the ballot. And he endured great criticism from the state of Michigan itself for allowing it, but he stuck true to his word that he would allow for the people to decide. In 2013, it was voted down, and as we saw over those years, 2013 to 2017, the streets continued to deteriorate, continued to decline, and in 2017, the residents said enough is enough. the vote passed by a very slim margin. But to bring it 360 to 2019, and to actually see the city of Benton Harbor, by the work of many Trent Bowens and others, Mayor Wilson Cook, Commissioner Adams, who brought this through a committee as the legislative chair, this city commission, coming through the Personnel and Finance Committee, vetting it, looking at the recommendations from the City Income Tax Oversight Board. So it was a collective effort, and ultimately it's for the people and the residents. So for us to be able to vote to allocate $1 million, not of grant money, but of revenue, I think is historic. And I think that if we were to take a victory lap, although as the manager said, this is just a start, but I think that collectively, this is an example of when we work together, the good that can come to the residents in the city of Benton Harbor. I also like to thank Abby Marsh as well for the professional expertise, analysis of the streets, the alleys, and we look forward to working with you and the Income Tax Board to come back to the City Council on a plan for the sidewalks as well as the alleys. Call for the question.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats?
They can't get no disease from it, right? Thank you, yes.
Commissioner Henderson? Yes. Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Isom?
Yes.
Commissioner Adams? On the actual resolution, vote on the resolution.
Yes.
Commissioner Harrelson?
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton?
Yes.
Commissioner Henry?
I need clarity. Are we approving this plan here that I have in my hand? Are we approving everything in this plan? That's my question.
Yes, everything that you see everything that you see in your hand right now as it relates to asphalt and concrete major local streets will be addressed with this plan that we're talking about right now.
Is it any way that we can come back and tweak it? Is it any way that the commission can find a place that needs to be addressed and come back and address their concerns? Or is this, if I vote yes, is this absolute now?
Honestly, Commissioner, not to, but if you look at all these streets, you're touching every street in the city, with the exception of probably Main Street. So every street that has a rating of 1 to 4 being poor will be addressed under this plan. If there are additional streets that need to be done that aren't, this was, again, the will of the committee and the discussion to do the streets that are in poor condition to make them passable. So that's what this is. That's what this is initially. Now going forward, the plan is fluid. It's not anything set in stone. It's all subjective to any desires that may be from the commission or the community.
Am I understanding that this is not set in stone? So if there's some changes to be made, the body can make it.
Revise it. It can be revised. Madam Chair?
Commissioner Henry has the floor, and because it's her vote.
Now I need that clarity before I vote. If we can't have the opportunity to make any changes,
According to the city charter, the city commission majority has the ability to make resolutions, rescind resolutions. So it's within the powers of the council.
yes.
Mayor Muhammad?
Yes.
Motion carries.
I wish we could get an applause. But that's all right. presentation from the staff. Chair recognizes the Deputy Director of Public Safety, Deputy Clark.
Thank you. Just keeping it short this week. Our app is out. We've been getting a lot of feedback on it already. So if you have a smartphone, you can download it. Just go to your app store and pick it up, and then you can communicate that way. We'll have a couple promotions that we'll be bringing shortly. New sergeants and such as well also.
Thank you, Deputy. Chair recognizes the City Assessor Story.
Thank you. As you know, last week we went through the AMAR review. That's the audit of the minimum assessing requirements. The review went very well. The reviewer did not find any deficiencies. I do not have the official results from the state yet. When they come in, I will share them with all of you, but I have good reason to believe we will receive a perfect score.
Thank you, City Assessor. Could you repeat what the AMAR, the acronym?
Audit of minimum assessing requirements.
Thank you. Congratulations. Chair recognizes the City Attorney.
Thank you, Your Honor. On the same subject, filing for the 2019 Michigan Tax Tribunals closed about 30 days ago. I'm pleased to report that the city has only received 2 complete tax tribunal appeals. One of those has been filed and answered by my office with the assistance of the city assessor. The other one is currently under review by the Michigan Tax Tribunal. In the past, we've had several tax tribunal files. This year, as far as with the entire tax tribunal, there's only 2. There may be some small claims, but those are being resolved by the city assessor's office.
Thank you, sir. Chair recognizes our Community and Economic Development Director, Ms. Jennings.
Good evening, Your Honor, Commissioners and public. Just wanted to make everyone aware that our Farmers Market Pavilion is being utilized as the Benton Harbor Farmers Market is in full swing yet again this year. Every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. in City Center Park. The public is welcome. Please join us for the Farmers Market. Community and Economic Development Department is preparing for our environmental and programmatic monitoring that will be conducted by HUD the week of July 9th and the week of July 22nd. In addition to that, the second hearing for the fiscal year 2019 annual action plan and the Community Development Block Grant Dollars allocation will be held on Wednesday, July 24th, 2019.
Thank you. The chair recognizes the City Clerk, Thompson.
A primary election will be held in the city on Tuesday, August 6, 2019 for the purpose of electing candidates for the office of the mayor, one 4-year term expiring on December 31st, 2023. Any qualified elector of the city who is not already registered may register to vote at the office of the city clerk, the office of the county clerk, a secretary of state branch office, or other designated state agencies. The last day to register in any manner other than in person with the local clerk is Monday, July 22nd, 2019. After this date, anyone who qualifies as an elector may register to vote in person with proof of residency at the city clerk's office located at 200 East Wall Street at the following times. Regular business hours, Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. Saturday, August 3rd from 8:30 a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. and Election Day, Tuesday, August 6th from 7 o'clock a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. Absentee ballots are also available for this election.
The chair recognizes our City Manager, Mr. Darrell Watson.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I'd like to thank the Commission for a unanimous vote on the road plan. Now we can get to work, understanding that this is a temporary fix, but it is showing a good faith effort in attacking the problems that we have in the city as it relates to our road system. We'll get the RFP out and, like I said, get the work underway ASAP. attended an income tax conference last Friday, and there are some interesting things going on in Lansing related to income tax that are proposed to be changed as it relates to how taxes are collected, as well as the level of income for a person to pay income tax. Lastly, echo the kudos of the assessor. I don't know if you remember, but in 2015, we got a perfect score the other way. We didn't do anything right. And to have come full circle to get a perfect score in 4 years is a testament to the work that's being done in that department. If you remember, that also was what precipitated the city spending almost $450,000 in doing an assessment. Now we can handle it in-house. So again, thank you to the work that's being done in that department, and it is it's a monumental thing to have received that from the state. So thank you.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Singleton.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. Thank you, citizens, for coming out, participating. I'd like to applaud the commission also for everybody who worked on getting these roads safe. That was one of my big pet peeves a couple of years ago. This has been going on for quite some time, and now we're at a point now that we can finally do something about it. There's a lot of work, a lot of vetting, and when it's done, folks will start seeing something. So that's great. We've tackled that. Now I believe we got to tackle another area of the city, and that's dealing with the water. So hopefully we can get something going and get those things straightened out, so we can get off the radar of folks wanting to possibly come in and do something with our water plant. So we got to get out the crisis mode and get more proactive. So just like we handled this, I believe we can get going and handle that also. Just thank the citizens for coming out again. 4th of July weekend. Be safe. Enjoy family. And we'll see you on the next meeting.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Commissioner Ice.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. Thank you, citizens, for coming out tonight, supporting us. Sell the 200 Paw buildings. You know, we can see something happening in that building now instead of being stagnant. You know, I can see people walking and parking lot full. So we need something in that corridor down there to brighten up the city. You know, make something happen. The streets, you know, that 80-20 percentage came out of personnel finance. You know, working together as a team, vetting it out. Came up with a good plan. I think it's going to work for the people of the city. Smooth streets, no potholes. Turn your music up loud, lean to the side. You got to jump, turn it and all that. You know how we do it. It's a good thing, though. You do it, I see. But I want to just thank the people for coming out tonight. You know, with all the comments from the citizens. Thank the Avamars too for coming up with the street plan, helping the city put it together. And I want to say we had a good First Lady. We put on the kite flying event a couple weeks ago. It was real good. Got the kids out, kites in the air. You know, it's our 4th annual that we had this. It's been big every time. You know, it's been great. It's been great. So I just thank you for coming out tonight and just keep supporting us. We support each other. You know, together we can do this. Can. Thank you. God bless you. God bless. It's been hard.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Adams.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, and thank the residents for taking time out of this schedule to come down to your city government and find out what's working for you or not. I think it's a wonderful thing anytime we're able to accomplish anything. And I think that if all people in their respective roles would do what they get a paycheck for as opposed to playing politics, we could probably get more done. And those that serve this community and want to contract with this community that wants and desires some of the work of this community. Because we should be further along than we are. I think it's wonderful that we have agreed to, since we haven't been able to upkeep it and it's falling apart after years of begging, to let us in 200 paw to try and do something, to operate something for the community, with the community, that is finally going to see a brighter day. Unlike our armory of our block grant dollars that we just went through, 1 point some million, or close, that we had to have spent in a certain amount of time. We have this beautiful pavilion out here that's open to all. But has anybody saw a plan to keep it sustainable? That's going to require some dollars too. I'm tired of seeing people come through our community in large amounts of money like this, including the million that we just approved. And nobody ever gets paid but the facilitator or contractors, and less work. Okay, be not deceived. It sounds good. But machinery and contracting out work, that stuff costs, doesn't it, Mr. Chris? Yeah. So we'll be lucky to probably get $300,000 worth of work to a pothole. Be not deceived, okay? Thank you.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Harrelson.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mayor, I'd like to thank the citizens for coming out, saying you've been in action on tonight. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Henry.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to thank the citizens for coming out, but I want to remind you about your community development block grant money. It belongs to you, and we're making decisions on how to spend it. And you, residents of Benton Harbor, have the opportunity now to write a note, come in and talk to our director, give suggestions, read what this body is going to be ready to approve, if it fits you or not. It's really important. This is the only money that the citizens have any input on. The rest of it is our business to take care of for you. But this money is yours, and it's time for you to take ownership of it and make it work for you. So come down, read the plan. Should be in the library, should be in the office, should be on our website. It should be everywhere that convenient for you to get. So if you read it and you see something that pleases you, let us know. If it doesn't please you, or if you'd like to see it go in another area that'll benefit the citizens, the residents, you gotta get involved. We can't do it by ourselves. We have to have your input. So, thank you, and stay involved. We're on YouTube. If you don't see us, you can go to YouTube any time of the day, night, whatever you gotta do. Pay attention. Stay awake. If you're not awake, somebody shake them and wake them up, because it's a new day for Benton Harbor, and we can do it if we all collectively are on the same page and we're looking out for the residents of Benton Harbor. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to thank the residents and the community members for coming out to this meeting on tonight. Just also like to thank everybody who played a part in the road plan, which was a huge team, and Also like to thank the commission for approving this plan because it is long overdue. A lot of work went behind the scenes to get this to where it is tonight so that we could get some emergency work done in the city of Benton Harbor. And I'd just like to also say, there's always something to be done. There's always something that can be said, but it's also a time to celebrate the accomplishments. And tonight is one of those nights where you celebrate an accomplishment. No, it's not perfect. No, it's not exactly what we wanted, but it is something to celebrate because now we're getting something done. The city of Benton Harbor has been below in everything. And so we have an opportunity, and I think this commission and people in this community have all decided that we want to make Benton Harbor a great place to live. And so it'll take time, and you keep hearing me say that and other people say that, it'll take time to become that community that we want. Nothing is done overnight, it does take time. And so what you're seeing now is a result of something that has happened in time, and it is coming to fruition. So it's also a time to celebrate. We should celebrate these few victories that we have because, again, there's always something that we could say, good or bad. But tonight is the night that I'll celebrate these particular accomplishments. So again, thank you all for coming out and being part of this great community we call Benton Harbor. Have a great holiday weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Mayor Pro Tem C.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. I do appreciate this city council. I encourage my constituents that we have celebrated some major milestones and victories. But what people need to realize is this is not that old commission that used to come and give false information and all kind of rhetoric that is not true. I'm a fully insured, and I do have an attorney. And I'm going to stop the behavior as of tonight because I cannot stand for these individuals who play like they're all for black people. We love the brothers and we love the sisters, but yet there's no cause for the behavior that continues to come this way. So I'm not going to personally say anything because really the word libel and the word slander does come into play. But the only way you can sue somebody, might need to give my attorney the rest of my minutes, if you got something. So when you put a lawsuit on somebody, if they sue you because you're slanderous or liable, then you have a house, you have a car, I'm getting it. So let's just put it out there that this is the last straw. This is the last disingenuous information that you'll hear coming concerning me about some just rhetoric, man. I mean, people come with rhetoric to the city of Benton Harbor. We're fighting for schools. We're fighting for senior citizens. We're trying to better the community. And people are coming with personal, ingenuous information just to get a shot or just to get some kind of flattery from a crowd and don't have the real truth of what it is. So I do appreciate you for your leadership, Honorable Mayor. I do appreciate this commission. But one thing that, I've learned in this role that we stand in, that as Commissioner, Mary Alice Adams said these words, but she didn't finish it. She said, "For God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man shall sow, that shall he also reap." And it's called karma. And karma comes to them that do wrong to people for no reason. How do you reward somebody evil for good? How is that even ringing out of our lips or mouths and our ears to hear people when they come with just ridiculous information? And we swallow it up. The Mall, Orchard Mall has that same problem right now. That they got some birds that all they're doing right now is eating trash. And they can't get rid of them because they keep multiplying. You go out there to the Orchard Mall, you'll see what I'm talking about. You can't walk out there no more because the pigeons have taken it over. And one good thing I realized, I appreciate all my city residents who be here every week and come to every meeting. But eagles which Benton Harbor has a lot of. Benton Harbor is a phenomenal place to live. Has phenomenal residents that are coming out of rough places. We're fighting to get the kids their schools and everything else, and then you have the eagles that can't fly with pigeons. Because if you fly with them, you will never get anything done. So Benton Harbor, get out of the pigeon mentality of eating trash. And let's fly high where the sun is, so we can do what's right for our people. And I do appreciate your time, Honorable Mayor.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the residents for coming out. I'd like to again commend the City Council for working together to approve the road plan, which is subject to change at the will of this body. The City of Benton Harbor is the only city that has a City Income Tax Oversight Board. And we're also the only city that the city income tax was allocated for streets, sidewalks, alleys, as well as emergencies. So of the 23 that have an income tax, we are the only that have dedicated it to the rebuilding of the infrastructure. So I think the City of Benton Harbor is leading in a magnificent way to show that you can come up with monies, not necessarily 45 cents on the gas, but we're trying to do something. Tomorrow, the school board has a very important meeting at 6 p.m. I'd like to encourage everyone to come out. Also, like to commend the work of the city assessor and that department, where at one time, as the city attorney mentioned, $400,000 in fees. Well, actually $400,000 for the assessment, but the amount of fees that we incurred from the tax tribunal, where people are challenging the assessment, the professional assessment coming from that department. But I am pleased to hear that there's only 2, which means the treasury of the City of Benton Harbor is not drained from lawsuits. So that money can be used in other areas. I am hopeful that the 200 Paw can be redeveloped and put to good use and put on the tax roll where we can continue to get more revenue. I think that that's very important moving forward, that the City of Benton Harbor find creative ways to increase the tax base and continue to work with developers and people who want to come in and invest. It's very important that we keep in mind that it's a very competitive arena for cities as it relates to investment. The City of Benton Harbor has also improved with entrepreneurship. So we have 2 new businesses on Wall Street, on West Wall Street, the Butterfly Effect, you have a group of young women, recent graduates from high school, that have a nail tech, that have many different persons who are in the hair business. You also have the Healthy Harbor. You have the recent opening of the fish market. You have right here on where Mosaic. So businesses are popping up all over. 215 East Main Street. Then we've learned that the Benson Place has been purchased for apartments. So the city is on the move. But I would just ask that we continue to work together and work on behalf of the residents and the people. With that, I'd like to entertain
a motion to adjourn.
Support.
Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Iceland?
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson? Yes. Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem King?
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton?
Yes.
Commissioner Harrelson?
Yes.
Commissioner Adams?
Yes.
Commissioner Henry?
Yes.
Mayor Muhammad?
Yes.